Nom, 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 nom. Oh, nom, 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 nom.
All right, here we go. This is Peter with Castle Black Radio, Liege of Cookies here, and I've got four of the members of Varanger. Is it Varanger or is it like French?
Varanger.
Varanger.
Yep.
I was gonna say, is it like French, like Varanger?
No, so it's actually based in I believe Norwegian. Truthfully, the name's original meaning kind of just got lost. It was named after a peninsula in Norway. There's been various accounts of reasons of import, and truthfully, I just really like the name.
Yeah.
So at this point, it's like at this point we're just Varanger. Like for whatever, that's who we are.
All right. You're kind of choppy there. Did you guys hear that? Okay.
It chopped out on me too.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. Well, I was able to make sense out of it. So why don't you guys introduce yourselves? I can see your names, and everybody else can see your names. Just let me know who you are, what you do in the band, all that stuff. Whoever wants to go first.
Yeah. Ooh, me. Pick me. My name is Geoff. I play the stick thing, the percussion. Yeah, that
drums.
The loud echo boom. I beat. Yeah, that's what I do. Drums. Preference is drums.
Yeah.
Ignore the plywood hanging in the background. That's
Plywood.
just firewood for later. Yeah, that's just ancient relics. I'm a collector of sorts, I suppose. But,
is that a picture of Dave Grohl in the background?
Oh yes, good eye. Yep, yeah. There's Dave. Yeah, he's a good drum inspiration. John Bonham, Dave Grohl.
Mm-hmm.
Like you want to rip right through that head. I'm just straight chopping wood back there as much as possible. And that's how you get that good tone, man. That's where it's at.
Cool. All right, who's next?
So I'm Carlos, and I play bass, as well as all the other stuff of wrangling this bunch of knuckleheads around. A lot of the artwork, a lot of the kind of business side of the band.
Business, okay. All right.
See ya.
Tyler, you're next.
So I'm Tyler. I guess I'm kind of the concept guy behind it all. I have this obsession with telling stories and like legends, stuff like that, and so I roll that into I write these songs and I send it to this fantastic team of guys, and everybody kind of makes it their own. We come back together, and I guess I'm just that I get to be the voice that sings the lyrics and tells the stories that we're all working together to tell.
Cool. And the other guy hasn't said anything.
Where'd he go?
Liam.
Liam, where are you?
There?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay.
Leopold.
Hello.
Liam.
Yes.
I am Liam. I'm the other guitar player, and that's about it.
That's about it. What are your likes? What are your likes, your dislikes, your no?
what triggers you?
So, Liam is extraordinarily humble, but I will tell you, the kid is an amazing guitarist, and he's really brought a lot of new dynamics to the band since he joined. And actually, he's kind of the driving force behind the newer orchestration style with the new album. Our first album had we had a live keyboardist, Fred McCarthy. Dude was incredible, and he was just ready to kind of retire from doing music. And about that same time, we acquired Liam, and because of his massive Winter Sun influence, we added that kind of an element to our newer sound. And I mean, honestly, it just kind of blew the doors off. So
I was going to say, who plays the keys? And when you play live, I just watched the video you posted to from the Whackin' at the Brass Mug, and it's like, who's playing keyboards in there?
So like I said, we originally had a keyboardist. Actually, we went through a couple, but Fred was with us pretty much from the beginning of whenever it was time for us to really start playing shows. Fred was with us, and when he retired, honestly, we were just there's no replacing him.
Yeah.
So and we wanted to move forward, in quality and everything. And so I always kind of written the basic idea of keyboard, and then when we had Liam join, it was like, hey, this is what we have. Go nuts! And he took the go nuts part, and I mean, took it to a level that we were not expecting.
Yeah. That's good. Sure. Cool. So did you guys use a track when you were playing at the Brass Mug, like a background track for all the keyboards?
Yes.
Yes. How is that? Is that difficult to you guys? Because you're not playing with a real. You're playing. Is it difficult trying to? You don't have like a feeling with a keyboard player. You have to be in time with the keys when you're playing with a track. Is it more difficult, or do you think it's more easy?
Well, truthfully, I think that kind of comes down to Jeff. And how tight he is on staying, with that click. And I mean, the man is a machine. So truthfully, it's just that click is there for him, and the rest of us are just jamming with our drummer.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I take it for the team. I jump on the click grenade for everybody, and I make the claw bass sound pretty fire up there, So that's. Yeah, I need that click for sure out of everybody. And then as long as I'm on and I know right where the bars and the measures are, so I know where the orchestration is going to land. Even sometimes, because when you play live, you get that adrenaline going, and you always naturally want to rush. But our music is so like, hello, 300 BPMs, it's just like rapid fire. So you're usually right in the pocket because your adrenaline, you just ride that wave, So sometimes we wander the click a little bit, and you kind of hear it a little, and you're like, and then the next thing you know, like within a measure or two, we all sync back in. So it is actually kind of nothing short of a miracle how we all hear each other amongst the chaos, that's going on stage. It's pretty wicked.
Yeah, I remember being in a band once. We had like a 5-minute song, and then we played it. It was like 2.5 minutes. Like, what the hell just happened?
You were excited. That's the natural order of things.
Yeah, man, you could definitely open some wormholes and some portals on stage, jamming, man. Even just practicing, just hanging out, and doing some studio work. If you can capture it, that's where the magic's at, But
yeah,
for sure. That's why we do what we do, man. It's that feeling.
So you guys are. Sorry, you guys are you're working on the new album, because I see you only have the one from 2019. I was like, man, what's going on? You guys.
So we've got that. Stuff, well, obviously, the world ended.
Yeah. Right.
And then, because of the apocalypse, it was just the world changed for a lot of us, not just as a whole, but like individually. Opportunities presented themselves, opportunities removed themselves. And so honestly, there's a bit of a shakeup. For a couple years, there was a few member swaps. And truthfully, I'm actually I'm the last I am the last OG.
He's the last sacred member.
Yeah. And I've had the pleasure of a lot of music throughout my career as a whole, but also my time with Varanger. But I can genuinely say that I feel personally the team that we have built now is probably, and honestly, I think it's the best I've ever gotten to work with. These guys they're so professional. They're on top of things, and everybody's gotten cool. And because of all those member changes and all of us coming together and having the album mostly written, and then let's make it our own. This drummer Jeff is every bit the drummer that our last drummer James was, but they have two pretty not necessarily opposite styles, but they're very, very different. And so there was the learning curve of, all right, so let's write what your drums are going to be, and everybody get back together into that. And then we've got our guitarist Paul left us, and we got a hold of Liam. We have to learn the new songs. We have to put Liam's spin on stuff and everything. And so it was just we could have crapped out this album probably 2-3 years ago.
Mm.
You know, Dark Traditions ended up being more of kind of a me, James, and Fred, our old keyboardist show when we had everybody else. This one, I refuse to do that. I want, like, this is, Varanger is all of us. And I want everybody to be equally represented in what we do. And we're perfectly fine taking our time to get there and to do it properly.
That's good. Yeah.
Correct.
You guys are, I'm just going off what it says in Middle Archives. Are you all in Sanford?
Well, I'm in Sanford, and I mean, we practice at my place and all of that kind of stuff. So it's very much, we're based there, but we're all from kind of everywhere. Carlos isn't even from the U.S. I mean, he's from Argentina, technically, you know, or Venezuela. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the spiritual home of the band is Sanford.
Sanford.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
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 So
We was born, raised, and currently works in Sanford, actually.
oh wow,
Yeah.
it's hard to
Liam is
find.
the other one.
Hard to find a person who was actually born in
We're
Florida.
15
It's
minutes
Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're far and few apart for sure.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
How
a
is-
couple of in there. It's
you need to find a good spot for you, Tyler. You're kind of breaking up again.
Yeah. You're being attacked by the
some
gremlins.
place there.
You were all right, but now it's kind of breaking up again. All right.
Yeah.
So how did the whacking battle go? Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it. It's like 5-10 minutes from my house, but I had things going on that weekend. So,
Sure.
so how does it work out? You made it past the round one. Round two is coming up in May, and you guys are moving on to round three. There's so many different rounds with the whacking. There's so many different locations. I just don't understand how it works.
Yeah, it's a very interesting event overall. So there's basically round one and round two are basically the same thing. It's just 12 bands overall. It's kind of split between six bands each show. So 6 bands the first night, 6 bands the second band. And they select 3 bands out of each one of those, and then make another 6-band event on the 15th. So it's interesting because it's music, it's art, so kind of classifying as a competition or battles, it never really feels fully right, because it's a lot of different components to it. But it was great. We obviously love playing at the Mug. We know a lot of people there, and we have a lot of friends there. But the one night it went great. They did a random order, so that was also one of those things that kind of threw us off and kind of keeps everybody on their toes. Because you're normally, when you go to any show, any event that you're playing, you kind of have a set guidelines of what your loading times and when you're playing, like you kind of agree all those things. This one was kind of, you load in, these are the loading times, but then you get to pick a random time slot that gets assigned to you. So you could either play first, you could play last.
It was literally picking a number out of a hat. Literally.
Yeah. So we kind of play in the middle. I think we played third that night. But all the bands were fantastic. So
Totally.
so it kind of interesting when it's like, oh, you guys are the winners of round one. It's not really winners. Like, every band was fantastic. They could have all won. It was more like they chose 3 bands to move to the next event.
So after round two, when there's 6 bands on the third one, what happens after that? Did they pick just one or what?
Yeah, so so they'll pick. So on the second, they'll pick another 3 bands, and the 3 of us and the 3 of them will play on the 15th. Out of those 6 bands, they'll pick 1 band, and that'll be the Florida winner, and that band will get to go to Jersey to play.
Yeah.
Jersey.
Yeah, to play at Dingbats against all the other competitions around the country. I think from what I've seen, there's maybe another 8 or 10 promoters So I know there's California, there's New York, New Jersey.
I think there's like only like 4 or 5 other competitions. I think it's the Florida winner plus either 4 or 5 others.
Yeah. So and then whoever kind of gets chosen out of that show, that band will go to represent the East Coast and back. And so
Okay.
technically 2 more shows. We'll see. You know,
it kind of reminds me of like the March Madness basketball bracket. There's like 100 teams.
Yeah, it basically, you know, but that's a sport, so it kind of feels right to do it.
Yeah, right.
It always kind of feels weird in a way, especially because we're friends with a lot of those bands too.
Yeah.
So you know, it's kind of interesting supporting each other. It's like, okay, well, you get to go, we get to stay, kind of scenario. But it's good. It's good. We're all friends with everybody, so it's good.
Yeah, music is subjective. Somebody says, "Oh, that band sucks." Like, no, that's what you think, but I like them, so what? Who cares?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's hard. It would be hard to pick who would be the winner unless somebody completely just sucked.
Right.
Yes. Now I will say though, you know, with the first round, am I coming through clear again?
So far, yeah.
There you go.
Everclear. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll say that we round, you know, the first 6 bands, you know, wins and losses, it was still congrats and hugs found everywhere. And, you know, even though all of us are ready to give everything to win this kind of competition and to go and play Vach, and, you know, again, it's the great festivals. I love how much all of us as Florida were just like, hey, man, congrats, and you know, just do us proud. We're asking. Like, but it's still there and was, you know, heavily through petition.
All right. Oh, that was I got some of that. It's still choppy. I don't know. But anyway.
Yeah, I think more or less what he was saying is like it's pretty fun whenever we have like a metal fest or a lot of us there, because more or less it's like a Island of Misfit Toys family reunion, and we all get to see each other and hang out and jam and have a good time, you know. And,
yeah, that's good.
It is really hard to you know, bracket everything up like it's Super Smash Brothers Melee and say it's a tournament and have a winner come out. You know, it's just you know, like who was actually judging it too? Did we actually meet the judges? I don't think I remember meeting. Like my all apologies, guys, I didn't meet them. Who was judging us? You know,
yeah, there was a group of I think 3 people judge. I know
there's at least 3 or 4 of them, right?
I know one of them. I
hope
we were never actually introduced to them, but we were introduced to the organizers.
Oh, okay, good. I was worried. I was like, oh no, I zoned out on that one. Hello, judge.
I think Eric Rand was the organizer. He was one of the judges. So
yeah,
groovy.
So like we knew about him, but I noticed 2 ladies that seemed to be taking notes.
Yeah.
Over on the left side of the mug. But yeah, like I said, he was the only judge that we were technically introduced to, you know, and obviously we met Jerry, who was very professional, great about organizing everything. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we were never like, hey, these are your judges, these are your criteria, all of that. Like we actually kind of weren't given any of that. It was just do your thing in your natural state and let's see what you're about.
Yeah, that's good. Mm-hmm. It's a good idea, this Bakken competition, because if you're at a show where you're a band and you don't know the other bands, they can kind of screw you. Okay, you're going on first and nobody's going to be watching. There'll be like 2 people like, yay.
Right, yeah.
Or you're dead last when everybody leaves. It's like, yeah. You gotta, with shows like that, you got to try to be in the middle if at all possible. But I know that's kind of tough. I went to see a band and they did that to them. Like, well, our other band's played. Everybody's leaving. So where are you going? There's still another band playing. You know, you got to be one of those guys that stays the whole show, unless you really have somewhere to go or something.
This is true.
There needs to be.
You always gotta play the same way, though. That's one of the things we tell each other all the time. It's like, doesn't matter if there's 2 people or 2,000 people. You play the exact same way.
5 or 5,000, give them everything you got.
All of it.
Play the same way. So it's the same show, whether there's 3 or 50, like doesn't matter, or 500, doesn't matter. We play the same show with the same energy, with the same feel. Everything is the same. So.
Yeah, you don't find it difficult if you play a show where there's not too many people. Or I know, to me, I'm not a seasoned musician at all, but it just seems off. Like, okay, moving on.
It's weird at first.
It does get weird in a way.
It's hard to feed off of no energy.
Yeah,
it is, but that's when we actually get to feed off each other a lot more. And
we have fun
a lot more.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh, we make a little bit more mistakes. Whatever. So we get to have a little fun. So we treat it a lot of times like we're rehearsing in our space.
Absolutely.
And if you see us rehearse in our space, we're pretty much the same way we're on stage. We feel each other say the exact same way. So it's never really foreign to just be in a room and there's, maybe 3 other people. Although that happens a lot less now for sure.
Truth be told, at least on my side of things, when we're playing to little to nobody, that's our chance to like try things. Like stage moves that we've always wanted to work on, and then like us joking with each other. Truthfully, like if you ever really pay attention, you'll notice all of us like making faces and like sticking our tongues out at each other, and just we're enjoying the hell out of what we do. There's so much in black metal and death metal. Like there's this necessity to be like this big badass, and God, we're not. We're a bunch of dorks. We have so much fun doing what we do, and we wouldn't trade that for the world. At least I know that, speaking from my side. I believe I speak for everybody. This is our happy time. Like life is performing, and everything else is just the time in between. So when we're under the microscope, I have full faith in all my guys. I know we're going to show up, we're going to nail it, and that's it. But like when we're able to cut loose and have a little bit of fun, I know that we're going to have too much fun, and somebody's going to have to take a 3-measure break just to stop laughing for a second.
Right.
You can do the like the thing that the band the Scorpions did, like the synchronized guitar. You're all going.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and truthfully, that's what this is all about. Yes, it's for the fans, and it's for the artistry of it all. But the reality is, us as a group, we're all really tight, and this is our opportunity to get together with the boys and just let the boys be boys. Let's have fun. Everybody just cut loose, and for half an hour, 45 minutes at a time, reality doesn't matter.
Yeah,
this is our world, and man, if given the opportunity, I think all of us would. This is if we could make this everything, that's what we'd be doing.
Right. Yeah.
All the time.
So
we just keep getting better all the time too, and circling back to like how you said, it's like it feels weird sometimes when you play a show for like 5 people, but you bring that same show and it's just like glorified practice, at that point. You're just like, oh, we just have a whole stage. Just like Tyler was saying, we get to practice all sorts of cool stuff and kind of cut loose a little bit more. You can kind of read the room. I mean, like personally, with the intensity and speed of the music that we play, I can't, and I don't really drink too much anymore anyway, but alcohol, I found like dehydrated and tightened up my muscles, and I'm like, dude, I'm trying to perform here, But like if it was a show where it's just like, oh, there's only like less than 10 people, it's like, well, I guess I could have a drink or two, have one on stage, a little emergency stage beer, you can kind of vibe out a little. Yeah. And then that just helps you tap into another creative outlet. You might perceive things differently. You might notice something that you can carry on to the next show that has, the 50, 100, whatever people.
Yeah.
So,
I always wanted to try that. I would never try it, but the flipping the guitar thing over your shoulder and pulling it back.
Right. Yeah.
like the '80s hair
I
metal
know.
bands would do.
I always thought that was the coolest thing on the
Uh-huh.
planet, but from an early age, I got to get a leather guitar strap, and I realized the very first try that doesn't work with leather guitar straps.
You got to get some Vaseline on there, man.
You try it, you'll smash to the drum set.
Oh yeah, I missed that Telecaster. That was a great guitar.
All right, so let me ask the interview question, the job interview question. Where do you guys see yourselves in 5 years?
Oh no, I forgot to study. Oh no, no. Oh.
Honestly, in 5 years, if everything goes according to the plan that we all hope, I'd love to be doing one, if not two, tours a year. I'd love to be releasing an album, if not once a year, every other year, and just making the most of things. I don't know that it would be so much, let's go hit 30 dates in the next month. I think it would be more, we'd like to be like a festival band.
Yeah.
Do something where it's, we kind of have an idea every year of, around work and all of that. Because we know, and as a metal band, especially an American metal band, we understand that we'll never be rich doing this. That's not how metal works, especially in the States.
Right.
But we can be happy and we can spend, as much time as we can on the road and still be able to hold down a life. And, on one hand, man, the rock star lifestyle, that'd be great. But the reality is, how blessed are we that if we're able to, go do 30 dates in a year or up to 60, something like that in a year, we're blessed. You know what I mean? And I think that's kind of that's where we'd all really like to be.
Yeah, that old rock star lifestyle that you're a rock band or a metal band, you work your ass off, you get a recording contract, and you're a billionaire. That
Right.
It doesn't exist anymore.
An old pipe dream now. That doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
These
It strung me along long enough to dig deep and practice though.
That's right.
Put a fire there. Because it's just like, it's like, oh, you could step up to a record label and roll the dice, but does it really hold the same weight like it did? I don't know.
No.
So much more independent stuff.
It's
we're in a very weird place in the music environment. I don't know. There's some sort of movement going on, man.
Yeah, hopefully it's a good movement. It's not what it used to be. Unfortunately, it used to be better, and I guess.
Well, here's the thing, though. No, it's not what it used to be, but it is what it is now, and there was no chance that the music industry wasn't going to evolve. Right. So, we can either look at it as, man, the glory days are over, or we can look at it as the fact that some random kid in a basement somewhere is now able to produce a chart-topping hit on their own. Yeah. It's a rarity, but I mean, and I know I'm going back 15 years or so, but I mean, the one that really always pops out to me is Fireflies by Owl City. I know this is the least metal thing I can mention, but really, it was a kid in his parents' basement that made that, at least the story I was told. And everybody knows that song, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So it's kind of cool that the underground is brought more forward and the opportunities are much more abundant, but the opportunities hold significantly less weight than they used to.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
And now there's AI, and you can just tell AI what song you want it to sound like, and it makes a song. And it's weird.
It is.
Yeah, but let's be realistic. You'll never fake the soul.
Right. Yeah. I was gonna say I'm not too worried as a drummer. I mean, I've been phased out since the '80s by the Dr. Beat drum machine. There's always been drum machines. I got replaced by the factory, years ago. So, but no, there is something to be said about the individual artist, how they approach the instrument, and they put that soul into it, like you said, and that's
not just the individual artist, but the collaboration between individual
And
artists.
all the once you
Yeah.
start melting musicians together, you get that chemistry, man. And it's just like, that like this lineup only happens this good because it's us. It's one of those things. That's
And
why,
that-
like, going back to Fred, man. Oh, I fucking love Fred. He's the best. He's a legend.
I
man.
miss
When we
Fred.
talk, I do, man. It's like, a member of your family is just like, hey, man, I can't come out and play anymore. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, no. It's okay, though. And the most badass thing, I do got to shout out, he had the fucking keytar, bro.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
And it looked like a freaking executioner's blade.
Yeah, like a battle axe.
It was
man.
intense, dude. But yeah, it's trippy, man. Yeah, the longer you keep playing music, it's like, I don't know. All of us have been on a different journey. I feel like I've been doing this for at least 15 years now. It's like you see people come and go, and it just kind of weathers you a little bit, and it's just really trippy. You're just like, oh no, that guy, like James. When I first saw James, I was like, oh, he's a titan. He'll do this for another 60 years, easy.
Yeah.
And he's just like, nah, I've already done it for 35 or so, maybe 40. I'm gonna hang my drumsticks up. I'm good, bro. But he passed that torch to me, man, and it meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
And I think the best part is he had a Pearl Vision Series gold badge that was maple, and my baby Ruby is a silver badge. She is the birch. So it's same series, both Pearl Vision kits, around the same era. So It was really trippy. It was like, I was kind of meant to be here. Both had the same drum, just different wood type. And yeah, man, it was, what a blessing that was.
Something super cool about that handoff too was, when James left again, he was ready to retire. He's like, man, I've been touring since, I think he was touring before he could legally drink.
Yes.
And I love you, James, if you're listening, but man, you're also an old man now. We know this.
James.
And so, like, but truthfully, the man's entire life existed on the road. He deserves his rest.
Yeah, dude.
And he made sure that the transition between James and Jeff was as smooth as possible. And he I think wrote down a few drum charts for like some of the more complicated beats that he had written, and like he and Hefe had worked, together a little bit to like, hey, combine one style with the other and stuff like that. It was, and they talked, the tone and how he got one thing and how it can translate to his kid. And it was really awesome watching the transition of the band. It was quite literally a torch being passed.
Yeah. It's everything from like drum tuning to setup. He was like, I have this extra drum hardware, dude. I don't need it. Here, let me help you hook you up. Just toss some schmeckles my way, And that's the other cool thing as a drummer. It's like such a mutant hybrid thing with like hardware and gear and stuff like that. Like Ruby, she's my baby. She's the acoustic, she's the drum, but like the hardware stuff, I have pieces from my like entire career of drumming that I still have some JB Weld and some bubble gum holding it together, and it still fucking works, all these years later. But it's so cool. It's just like you've acquired a piece of legendary gear. You just keep going on your journey to Mordor. You got to get the ring figured out, man.
Yeah.
So we just actually wrapped up drum recording for the new album, and we're getting everything, ready for everything else to begin layering on. But talking about the just the random collection of hodgepodge gear over the years. Jeff and I literally, what did we blow, like 3 hours? Just let's stack different broken cymbals and let's do this. And what can we shove in between it just to get some kind of a really cool sound for the album?
Exactly, dude. Yeah, because my pops raised me right. He was like, "Hey man, squeeze every little thing out of it, stretch that dollar, especially with cymbals and like percussion stuff." I love it when people like can I borrow something for this show or whatever. I've done some gigs with kit sharing or whatever, and they're just like, "Oh, I'm sorry, did I hit your drums too hard?" And I'm just like, "Stop apologizing, dude. Do you understand that percussive instruments were born for abuse? You're supposed to beat the living shit out of this thing." And I kept all of my cymbals. My pops instilled that in me, like, oh, just hang on to them. And it's true. I have so many cymbals through my career drumming that Tyler and I literally opened up the bag of relics of cymbals I hadn't even looked at in like 10 years, and we just started stacking them, and we made a good little fuck shit stack, just a couple of splashes. It's the perfect little, and that
it's so nasty.
Yeah, it's got a good enough and it's got a good bite. I don't know. It debuted on this album, so we're excited
That'd be good. You do a little
yeah, because we do have like very dramatic breaks in quite a few songs. So yeah, there's one where right before a lead up, pretty sure it's Iconoclast or something. I think there's just this one little drum break I do with this little. So you got to listen for it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's funny. That's cool. Man.
Remember, Iconoclast is the song that's in that video that was recently.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that was the one that circulating around.
Do you guys do all the recording and mixing at your house, or do you take it to somebody else and have them work on it?
No, this time around, normally, I mean, most of us have done it the old-fashioned way, gone to studios.
Yes.
Grind it out. The last project that I was in, was Serpent's Rise, with Derek Roddy from Hate Eternal back in the day. He showed me kind of the way of, you don't have to go to a studio. You can just build your own thing at home or in your rehearsal space. So he had a whole recording setup in his studio at home.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And then we kind of started talking about it, how you go about all the things that you will need to do that. So when we start getting into the idea of recording this album, we kind of try to walk through different scenarios. Okay, what if we go to this person that we know? Well, Tyler was talking to the person that recorded the last record. How that's going to run.
Yeah, Chris Short of Alpaca Ranch Studios.
Alpaca Ranch. Yeah.
So,
that guy's a wizard, man.
Oh, he is. I miss Chris a lot.
So we should just
where's he? Chicago? He's in Chicago now, right? We got to go up and see him, man.
He's in Chicago now.
Get a deep dish pizza with his name on it.
Yeah. So we explore different kind of pathways. It's like, okay, where are we going to get the best results with our time and our investments and everything? And then we decided, it's like, well, because we were kind of doing this transition to in-ear monitors and kind of some of the stuff that we had to do for the live setup, we needed to make some investments there. We're like, well, if we're going to invest money for that, we could kind of reuse that equipment to record ourselves and kind of build our own studio for recording. So that's kind of the route we ended up going with. So, and then once you start recording by yourself, you start learning so many different things that, like, having to go back to a studio and record with somebody else, like, don't really need to do that anymore. So technology now, thankfully, is there, where we can basically do it ourselves. So it obviously still go to some form of mastering. We still haven't gotten to that phase yet.
Yeah.
But all the stem tracks are going to be done by ourselves.
And with all of us having our own kind of wacky special interests, Liam, actually, one of his big ones is recording. So we're kind of letting him spearhead most of it, and letting him here. You know what, run it. And if any of us have experience where we're like, hey, based on past experience, let's do this. Well, then we'll take a second. We'll powwow. We'll reconsider. Yeah. But the most of the recording on this is, hey, I want to do this. Let's try this. Let's do this, and we're letting him kind of run with it. So and so far, I mean, the couple of demos we have of stuff, we haven't released them yet. Just we're figuring out our guitar tone balances and all of that kind of stuff. But he's really making something pretty nasty. He's a very quiet one. I don't want to put him on the spot, but hey, Liam, you're on the spot. Talk about recording.
We're on the
spot. Yeah, I just like recording. That's it. I don't know why. Like, my dad did it for a while, and so it was just kind of like always there. In fact, I just got some random old equipment from like the 90s to mess around with and try and do a hybrid system. But I don't know, just recording has always been there because I didn't have a band. And so it's like, oh, okay, I can just have a fake drummer and I can be my own bassist and just make my own songs.
It's definitely a lot. That's a good thing with technology these days. You can cut out the recording, the studio, and if you want to, like, when I record, I just record and copy things to Audacity, record a guitar part on Audacity, and then layer on the bass and the drums and the singing. And hey, for me, it's good enough. That's all I need. And I'm not a pro, and I just do it for fun. So, and back in the day when I was growing up, it was the recording studio. That was like God. If you can get into a recording studio, it's like, and you would record on a cassette 4-track recorder or something like that. And that would be, even then, getting a 4-track cassette recorder is like, oh man, you hit big time. You got 4 tracks.
Exactly. Yeah, man.
I just got 2 of those old units for free from my dad.
Oh, nice.
So messing around with just old stuff, like I said.
Yeah, I used to have one, but I gave it to someone to borrow, and then it's gone forever. So, man, I wanted that thing back.
So much great things have been lost that way.
Yeah, unfortunately. So what's coming up next for you guys besides the next Vakken show?
Oh,
so right now, so yes, there's the next Vakken show. There's a couple things that we're keeping quiet for now. One of them is an out-of-state deal. It's up in the air. We're ready to do it. It's more of a being ready to jump if we need to go jump into this festival. I don't really know where I'm allowed to stop saying about it, so that's kind of all I'll say. Yeah. But then the other side, really, we have a show coming up in Arcadia at some historic, like, super haunted theater. I'm really excited about the haunted part.
That'd be cool.
But really, this is all just in between us finishing this album. We know we've taken our sweet time with it. We're ready for it to be done. And so really, like, that's the big focus right now, is just let's get this done. Once this new album is done, we are able to, really just start steamrolling. And now, because we have taken on the task of learning to do our own recording, we're able to not just, all right, cool, let's drop this album, but then we can, hey, in a few months, let's drop an EP of 3 or 4 songs, and let's at this point, let's join the modern game and release a new song every month or 2 as a way to stay relevant and still just continue backlogging a full album's worth of songs that are all somehow tied together. But it's let's get this album done, and let's be able to start producing content at a rate that is consistent with the modern music industry. People simply just don't have the attention span to get an album. Obviously, every 7 years, that's ridiculous, or longer. But I mean, even at a course of, or a pace of every 3 or 4 years, that's still just ridiculous in the modern world. So at this point, it makes sense to release a song or 2 as often as you can.
Yeah, song or 2 or EP, or get on some compilation, or do a split 2 or 1 or 2 songs with somebody else.
Exactly.
It's always
we already have some ideas on what our next move is going to be after this album. We have had some conversation about kind of what direction we want to do. It's just going to be really interesting. Surprising, because it's going to be slightly different, but it's still going to be very much us. So we're actually excited to kind of start hashing that plan out. But yeah, the biggest thing is we want to get this one done. And we're at the point in which we got drums done. Now comes the fun part of getting all the string instruments done, and that's when people have a tendency to kind of go down rabbit holes because you start experimenting with things, and I hear this one lick on top of it, and then you end up with 50 guitar tracks, and Not that that's ever happened to me at all. You know. So yeah, that should hopefully get close to finalized within the next couple of weeks, months, maybe. And once we have all the tracks recorded, then it's going to be kind of the orchestration on top and all the polishing and kind of
the polish.
So the main thing is that, you know, once you start making projects like this, you're like, oh, I mean, it's done, and then you find something else that's not done. So you have to find yourself what the actual cutoff is going to be. Is it done? Is it not done? It's like I'm actually surprised we went to this are the songs, because we have somewhat of an extensive backlog of different ideas on different states of completion. So we have to trim out the stuff that's nowhere near ready, that we're like, we'll push that to next album, and then we end up with a large size of songs, some of them needing extra work or kind of that extra piece to complete them, or so we kind of trimmed that out as well. Now we have, okay, this is the album. So now we're like, okay, now let's go record this thing. So we got all the drums done. Bass should be the next thing, along with guitars. So once we can get those into a good state, then it'll be a matter of no time to get it mixed, recorded, mix, master, get it released. So
yeah, cool. Man, I could go on and on. I know we've been almost
it's all good.
It's been almost an hour. I knew, talking to Tyler, I knew it'd be pretty comfortable, because there's one dude who does interviews. He has a list of 20 questions. He asks the same questions every interview. He doesn't interact with the band. He just asks a question, and then the band or the person just rambles on about it, and then he goes right.
He goes right to the next question.
I should see if I can get you guys to interview with him, so you can see what the hell I'm talking about.
I will have so much fun with that.
Try not to get frustrated with him, because I've seen a couple bands have. Well, actually, he interviewed. I think it was the new singer of. I think it might have been Suffocation or Morbid Angel, and he's like the brand new singer, and he asked how did the band come up with the band names. He's like, dude, I'm the new guy here, why are you asking me that? And that's right. That's one of his,
I just work here, man.
I showed up here after the fact.
His stock questions. How did you come up with the band logo? So
well, I remember, you know, as we were talking about it and setting this all up, you know, you and I were both on the same page of, no, let's just have a conversation.
Yeah.
You know, there's exactly. the whole, like, I think you had said, you know, I need to come up with a couple of interview questions, and I was like, man, here's a couple just quick little fun facts if you want to talk about it. Truthfully, we're just a bunch of jolly guys who like to have fun.
Yeah, that's what I like to do. I don't like, if I'm watching an interview, they just answer the bang questions like that. This sucks.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I just noticed that you got the Cookie Monster on your shirt there.
Yes.
Oh, he's on the drums too.
He's playing drums. It
says
says "Chicks Dig a Rock Star." My daughter picked it out for me.
Nice. I thought I should share that. I call this my Cookie Monster hoodie. So yeah, as you can tell, I got the nice blue and black. It took everything in my power not to have like a whole sleeve of Oreo cookies with me.
Oh man!
I decided against it because of the crinkly noise would probably be obnoxious.
And so yeah, you've gone a whole hour without a snack. Are you gonna die?
I'm not sure. I don't feel. I mean, I'm okay. I think I'm okay.
You're okay? All right.
Yeah. It feels a little weird. I mean, I always have, you know, emergency Zensu beans just in case. You know, and it's always good to have a positive energy drink.
Bro.
Yeah. So that's always there in case I hit like an absolute emergency. Like that.
I can't with you, man.
Well,
there's plenty more. I can keep it going now.
I know you are the daddest dad that has no kids.
I have none. Well, I have a feline named Pepper. He's about 7 or 8 years old. He's kind of more like a roommate, though. Having a pet cat, that's my first pet cat experience. And just having another roommate. Dude, yeah, he'll wake up and give me that look like, oh, just fuck you, man. I'm like, okay, dude, it's okay. I love you too, son.
yeah.
I assume that's how parenting is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
More or less.
It can be, yeah.
Let's say I got the giant dog, and he's just he's Crash. He is named Crash Bandicoot, and man, let me tell you, that name is correct.
Yeah, dude, he's wild.
He's a good boy, but man, he's a tornado kangaroo with teeth.
Oh man,
he's such a good boy, though. Such a good boy.
Yeah.
Oh, he is. He'll love you to death as long as you're supposed to be here.
Right. Yeah, that's the key part. The operational word there.
All right. Well, I'll hopefully be able to make it out to round 3. I'm going to be out there on round 2 if you guys are going to be there, cheering on the other bands. And
love it.
I felt bad I couldn't make the round 1. So, man, I had something going on and I couldn't make it. Just like, because like I said, the brass mug is like 10 minutes from my house. So
that's awesome.
If I really wanted to, I could walk there, but I don't really.
Well, see, here's the thing: you missing the first one, it's not rude because we didn't know. But now you can't miss the third one because that'll be rude.
Where the hell's that cookie guy who interviewed us? Is he going to show up?
No, actually, yeah. And special request: wear the Cookie Monster shirt.
Dude, yes.
Cookie.
I don't know. I think after we played a show, one of the best compliments I received from one of our fans after we played was, "You're like the real life animal." I was so happy. Straight from Muppets, just crazy, and it made their night. They were just so happy. They were like, drummers like that do exist. It's like, yeah, dude.
So it's funny the compliments we'll get as a band, but like Jeff especially, there's a single word that pretty much everybody says. Like, and these people don't know each other, but everybody's just like, your drummer is majestic. Yes, he is.
The secret is long.
Well, like he's got like his little fan and everything. Just the way that he plays, like he looks like he's riding a horse. It's like
Riders of Rohan.
The man is glorious.
It's the little fan, dude. That's my biggest little fan ever, dude. That thing is a lifesaver. And it has a little power outlet. You can daisy chain other, stuff off of it, man.
Oh, cool.
You can never have enough outlets on stage,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Man, I wish the people had more.
It is a humbling experience. We did the Samhain Fest, right? And that's like they throw it all together, bro. And we were just whatever extension cords and strips we could do. It was like the garage jam days, playing shows. Like, all right, we got like 5 amps and 3 plugs. What are we doing?
Let's figure it out.
Figure it out, dude.
But like, man, I wouldn't trade shows like that for anything because, like, number one, yes, it's humbling, but like. Yeah. Man, that's where we all started.
It all started, yeah. Stomping grounds, man.
Yeah, it's those little baby, like the backyard shows, the alley shows and stuff. There's a certain heart to it that's just, you know what? We're not under the spotlight. This is us having fun and just playing with everything we got, And like we not too long after the Samhain Festival, we did another alley show in Sanford, and that was Day of the Deviants. Once a year, this brewery will put on a metal show in the alley behind the brewery. It's free, it's all ages, everybody shows up and has an absolute blast. And I mean, and there's usually a couple hundred people there. It's all packed in this little tiny alley with this full-blown professional sound system, brother. We are pissing off old people 8 blocks away. It is
yeah, dude. Yeah, if it hits Lake Monroe and carries off, I wonder if there's somebody on the other side of Lake Monroe just like, turn it down. Curse you.
But
it's
yeah,
funny,
so
man,
like
'cause
we
when you
we
play those
love
alley
doing
shows-
these alley shows, these backyard kind of thing. Every bit as much as we love doing these pack shows that are, you know, 5, 6, 700 people and on up. It's they both have their same charm, or sorry, they both have their own charm.
Yeah.
And like one will never be able to replace the feeling of the other. Does that make sense?
So true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love it, like the alley shows, because then you have that, like, you know, Beatles on the rooftops of Abbey Road moment where you're so, you know, locked in with your mates and you guys are, oh, you're killing it, and you know you're killing it, and just random people, like he said, we're in the alley, dude. Random people are just walking by. There was like this guy with his family, he has his kid in his stroller, and they just stop and turn and start watching you. Like they just witnessed that moment of you guys like opening the jam portal in the middle of public, you know, just like, and it's just kind of cool, like, you know, because I mean, like I said, I'm back there, I'm chopping wood, animal. It's hard for me to like know what's going on around me, but I kind of glance around, get my breath, you know, every now and again, my asthmatic ass, and then I'll see some people just stop walking, and you're just like, man, that's a cool feeling.
Or
Like,
the cop that stopped and hung out for
oh,
like
yeah, dude,
the whole set.
yeah, he was like, "Can I get a picture with you guys?" Yeah, man. Like, sure.
Absolutely. Hey, officer, come here.
You probably like you see a cop come, like, oh damn it.
I know. Yeah, at first it was like that moment. It was like, oh, he's gonna unplug the amp, isn't he?
Well, see, and
like the end of Monty Python and the Holy Grail. You know, just everything just shut down. Show's over. Oh.
But yeah, like that dude was that cop was super cool too. He's like, man, I'm not really a metalhead, but God, you guys killed it. And I'm like, hey man, that's all I wanted. He's like, I wanted to get in the mosh pit, but I'm wearing my uniform. And I'm like, well, I think it's more about you wearing a gun right now than the uniform.
Yeah, it's the sword and the shield you got there, officer. A little dangerous swinging that around in the mosh pit. But that's another great compliment is, man, I don't listen to metal, but I liked your set, man. You know, that one really, that means a lot. You know, it's like, cool, dude, you know, because I'm right there with you. I don't listen to too much metal. I listen to a lot of everything, but like when people can tell, like you guys are just like, and you're in that moment, like it shows, and people see that shit. And it's just cool that they're just like, man, I don't like the metal, but I want to follow your band. Listen, you guys play again. Like,
you don't want that dreaded word when you ask me how was it, and they say, well, it was interesting. Interesting. That means, well, it sucked.
It's never good.
Well, that's
not a good.
You know, early on, and I was in a different band when I met Tyler, and he was. No, you were past Sons of Ragnar, so you were in Varanger, and you know his like number one motto was, "Hey, don't suck," you know. Or no, after we would play, it was like, hey, that didn't suck, you know. And
that was far from suck.
That was like the most like holy grail compliment from this man back in the day, bro. He's such a hard ass. And now that I'm like in the ranks with him, I was like, man, you fucked with us pretty hard back there, man. What the fuck, you know? But it's all that friendly banter of the metal community. Like we just keep sparking fires underneath each other, and then ultimately it ends up bringing out the best version of ourselves musically, you know.
Absolutely. And you know, it's funny. So when Jeff joined us, he was still a part of his older band, and he was pulling double duty for quite a bit. And his older band was more like new metal and groove metal kind of thing. And we'd been looking for a drummer for probably like 6 to 8 months. Just man, we had so many people try out and so many really talented drummers, but nobody just kind of lit that fire. And when Jeff showed up, it was like, no, this is the guy, and just trust me on this. And you know, a couple of the dudes, past members and present members, whatever, were like, "Are you sure?" I'm like,
"Are you sure?"
Give it a couple months. And this man, let me tell you, he earned his spot, man. He came in and like and played the way he played, and he was great. But I was like, here, man, like try this, rim shot, everything. This is black metal, not new metal. And we'd get into like different look. Yes, this is a great sound, but if you were to do this style of beat, see how it flows more. And I mean, this man literally walked in and like retooled his style of metal drumming. And I mean, has literally just made leaps and bounds, and not just technique, but also his endurance, and it's really impressive to see how much growth he's had in just a couple of short years.
Yeah, I think it's Bob Ross helps with that too. The Bob Ross.
I know. Yeah, Bob Ross.
Mm-hmm. There are no accidents, only screw it.
Hang on, wait. There we go.
What's that say? You're a masterpiece.
You're a masterpiece.
That's awesome.
All the motivation you ever need, right there.
Yeah,
that old guy.
All
I
right.
speak your little heart out. Tut, 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 tut.
All right, I'm gonna have to pack it up. I don't know how long I can record for him, but I'll probably.
Well, it's not my bedtime yet.
Yeah.
It's creepy, man.
Don't you have to get up at like 4 o'clock or something?
6 a.m.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's not too bad.
he's crazy, bro.
I get
Yep, I'm up at 6 a.m. I'm on the river by 7. I'm back by 9, and I'm at work by 10.
Yeah,
Well,
wild, man. He's the true Florida man.
well, when you have a kid, you're up at 6. I don't work until 10, but I have to be up at 6 for my daughter to go to school.
Right. Yep.
And see, this is why I don't have a kid, because it would probably just be gator bait.
Time to hit up the St. John's.
Oh, it sounds like about time. Make a lot of noise. Come on, the big ones will come.
This is where we do the belly flop competition, right in the middle.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
See the rope swing? Remember watching Tarzan? Do that.
Yeah, exactly. Cars in it, son.
Hey, for all future lawyers listening to this, I would never.
I would never. Yeah, this is all in good fun. Yeah.
I'll never do that.
This is coming from two not parents right now. So
Yes, absolutely.
hold up.
Yeah.
Well,
guys.
hey, brother, I very much appreciate you having us.
It's been
This
fun,
has been an absolute blast.
Yeah, this is cool.
And Liam, you talk too much. I'm tired.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
It's
This
crazy.
is his entire existence. He shows up, says nothing, and then leaves.
Yeah.
I'm kind of the same way. I'm more of an introvert, and when I get in a group of like large people, like I'll be there in the corner just being quiet.
Sure.
So, that's what I'm like too. So I get it. I totally get it.
I'm fine on stage.
Yeah.
Right.
Not
Yeah.
anywhere else.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Oh, the growth this man has had.
Oh yes. Yep. Yeah, he speaks through his guitar. He's like a bucket head kind of thing. Just kind of transfers the.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, yeah, we're his first band. He played his first show ever with us to a sold out Conduit, actually.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, man, we'll talk about trial by fire, but I mean,
Yeah.
he showed up, he did his thing, he did great, and now he even moves. So- but like I tell you what, that man will never miss a note.
Nope.
Cool.
Spot on.
All right, guys. It's been a pleasure. I'll see you in the third.
You
with
there?
Beautiful.
My cookie shirt, and I'll see you guys and hang out.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Peace out,
Thanks,
guys. Good talking to you guys.
All right.
All right. Take care. Yep.
Good night.
Bye bye.